Good morning and welcome to the show. Today I have a special guest from the Chipley Garden Club, Glenda Wilson. She's a retired physical therapist, but she also knows a lot about growing herbs. Glenda, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
You know, for a lot of years, I've tried growing stuff down here and down here in Florida. It's very sandy, very hot. So we grow a lot of things in pots now, and we do a lot of basil around my house because we cook with it. Now, you grow a lot more than basil and parsley, don't you?
Yes. Well, I have gotten into, let's say, dill. I love dill, and the more dill I grow, the more I use. I'm just learning. The last 6-7 years, I've started trying to incorporate more herbs into my cooking.
Why is that? What got you started on all this? Is it a health concern?
Well, that's where I started from. I thought, why can't we increase our immune system, get healthier, learn to things like, let's say upset stomachs or insomnia or let's say bad breath, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to go to Italian restaurants and wonder why they had that little bit of parsley on my plate.
That was for the way out.
Right. So anyway, I started growing first, like I wanted to get into it because of the medicinal. That's where my interest was. But I learned that it was quite challenging to grow them, to store them, to dry them, and to use them. And so most of my experience right now has been in the culinary, although this year my goal is to have more medicinal herbs. And all of my learning is self-taught, come from books and research. I am not an herbalist. I am just an average citizen interested in that. And since I come from the medical field, I really thrive on, well, what does dill do for us? You know, what does ginger really do for us? We all know, if you're going on a boat, you could take some ginger and you won't have the motion sickness.
Let's face it, before we had all of these drugs that we have in the modern world, I think our ancestors knew a lot about herbs and home remedies. Not that I would recommend that as a substitute for medical attention.
Never.
But it does add something to your life, doesn't it? Even if it's just having fresh herbs around the house.
Well, how about just the flavor of the food?
Yeah.
Oh, it's, that is, to me, I'm going to show you how to make a ranch dressing out of herbs. And I want to tell you, I was thinking, if you didn't have these herbs growing, it would cost a considerable amount to go to the store and buy those little packages, you know. So I can see why someone that doesn't have herbs growing would go to the store and buy it. But if you have the herbs already, why not learn to use them and to make your own fresh dressing? Oh, my husband was very impressed. So,
once you made your own dressing
I'll never get
from
to buy
fresh
it again.
herbs, why have we been buying it for all these years?
Yeah.
And plus, you know what all the ingredients are, don't you? Because you're making it yourself.
And they're fresh. There's no preservatives in it. So yes, that's where I am.
Well, maybe you can show me how to do that on the other side of these messages.
I hope so.
And now off to your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm. westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Master Gardener Glenda Wilson, all the way down from the Chipley Garden Club.
Right.
And you're going to teach me how to make some salad dressing here.
Yes, some ranch dressing
Ranch
from
dressing.
Herbs.
Now these herbs, if you could smell what I'm smelling, you get hungry too. And now the thing I smell the most is this garlic. Is that my first ingredient?
Yep. And
you start with a mason jar. You get your ingredients ready.
That's right.
And this whole thing.
Pour it in.
Okay.
Yep. And I've got a little spatula here in case you can't get it all out.
Oh yeah, I got the tools of the trade. Okay. First we got the garlic.
We got the garlic, and then the next comes fresh chives, and that's the second one.
We got some chives here.
I've chopped that up.
Okay, we got all the chives in there. We're chiving down. All right.
Okay. And then
I'm making a mess already.
Okay, and then just go ahead and add that. Actually, I think we put the dill in next.
Yeah.
The dill.
Man, oh man, the smells of this are just unbelievable. And then we got some parsley here. Is that correct?
You put the parsley in.
And thankfully, this is all chopped up, saved me some work. Okay.
And the tarragon, I did not have fresh tarragon.
Okay.
So we need a teaspoon of that. So just...
That little guy there is a teaspoon, right?
Yeah, if you'll take that top off, you can dig it in.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And I will be raising tarragon next year, but I didn't have any fresh. Oh boy.
It's always something.
Can we? Oh.
Yeah, I got it.
Think about it. Okay.
All right, so we got the tarragon, and we need one of these. One thing of tarragon.
Yep, 1 teaspoon.
Level teaspoon.
Yes.
Boom. Tarragon is in.
Now, on the mustard, we just need half a teaspoon of that.
Okay, so we got our little teaspoon.
Right, and I didn't have mustard, ground mustard, so I used mustard seed and ground it up.
So a half.
Just a half, right.
That looks like a half, I think. Yeah. Okay, we'll put that in there.
And then a half a cup of mayonnaise, and just
this
scrape
is
that
exactly
all in.
a half a cup, right?
Yes, yes, I've already measured
this
it out.
This whole mess in here.
That's right.
All right. Ooh, boy, here comes the mess. All right.
If you don't get it all.
Now, you know, it's not looking a lot like salad dressing yet.
No, it isn't, but it will when you start shaking it up. All you have to do is be able to shake.
I can do that. I can shake, I can rattle, I can roll. I can do it all. Okay.
Okay, and then a 4th cup of sour cream.
Oh, sour cream too. All right. So we'll see if we can get that in there. Use this little deal here to get it in.
Right.
So we got our sour cream in there. Yeah. Okay. And
a dash of hot sauce.
And that is the only thing that's not fresh here is the hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
So just a dash of hot sauce.
Ooh.
I like it hot. So much for a dash.
All right. And then I use rice vinegar and a dash of that. So be careful of that because that is,
all right,
you see that
I'll make sure my dash
really,
is you tell me what this dash is. Is that right?
That's good. That's
okay,
funny.
all right, that's funny. I'm overdoing it as usual.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Right. Then you put the lid on that and you shake it.
All right.
Shake it, shake it.
All right. I've got a lid in here somewhere, and we shake this up. Now, Glenda, we are running out of time, but I am shaking like crazy.
That's right.
And it is starting to look like a really nice.
Right.
Okay, and then we have to top this off with a couple more ingredients:
salt,
sea
pepper,
salt, black pepper,
and buttermilk. And only to the consistency that you want.
And then a dash of buttermilk.
And
somebody
again.
get me a salad because I am ready. Glenda Wilson from the Chipley Garden Club. Thank you so much for coming on the show
you're welcome.
and showing us how to make this delicious. This is really good salad dressing.
Zenobia Andrews here, your business system strategist, and I am delighted to be here in the Max Out Studios bringing you your Max Biz tip for today. Now, all week long, we've been talking about procrastination and the effect that it has on your potential. You know, procrastination is that thing that keeps kind of holding you back and preventing you from taking action today on the things that you know that you're accountable for or you know that you have been dreaming about. You know, procrastination it truly is a bad trait to have as an employee, an employer, and especially as a business owner. You know, as a procrastinator, you're pretty much seen as unreliable. You know, colleagues, they can't trust you. You know, your clients, they feel like you're unreliable, that they really can't place something that's really important into your hands and know that you'll follow through. You know, it reminds me of when I was in school and the teacher would partner you up with this other student that you knew, you know, you had this big project, but you knew they weren't going to carry their end of the load with the assignments. Well, that's because they were a procrastinator, and that is so frustrating. Listen, you don't want to be that student way back when in grade school that no one wanted to partner with because they knew that they weren't going to follow through and take action on what they were accountable for. Listen, I'm Zenobia Andrews, your business system strategist, and I am here to support you. You can reach me at www.zenobiaandrews.com. And hey, if you follow me on social media, I will definitely follow you back. And let's continue to press towards the max.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to spend a few minutes with David Powell from Innovations Credit Union. David, what's cooking at Innovations nowadays?
Man, Don, you know we always got something going on over there at Innovations. Just trying to spread the message of we got some free checking accounts. We're making all kinds of loans.
Did I hear you say free?
Free checking, Don. It's unbelievable.
That's one of my favorites.
For both individuals and businesses. Something that did just recently, we rolled out a brand new car loan rate at 1.29%.
Wow.
So limited time only, come buy a car, 1.29%.
You are giving cars away over there, aren't you?
Well,
not quite.
Almost. But speaking of cars, while we're not in the car business per se of selling them, it turns out we do have a few.
Oh, do you?
That we've secured from some borrowers that didn't want them anymore. And
Really?
so if you wanted to see what kind of cars we had to offer, well, you can find that on our website.
Really?
innovationsfcu.org.
Innovationsfcu.org. I can fish around in there, and I can find some cars that you guys have.
We've acquired some.
That you acquired some. And
I'd be glad to make a loan for those.
Obviously. Yeah. And I'm thinking it'd be a pretty good price, too, on
Pretty
those
good
cars.
price.
Yeah.
As low as 1.29. Obviously, you have to have qualified credit. And
Certainly.
those kind of things.
Well, that's actually pretty cool. Now, tell me about the credit union. What's the big difference between a credit union and a bank?
Well, credit unions are non-profit, member-owned organizations. You know, when you go down to the credit union, they say you have to be a member of the credit union, and to be a member of the credit union simply means you have to put $5 in a savings account. That establishes your membership. And so to be a member of Innovations Credit Union, you have to live, work, play, worship, volunteer. You have to do some activity in Bay County.
And by law, you guys are kind of limited as to where you can bank. You're not a big nationwide thing.
Nope.
You're a local, community-based.
We are just in Bay County. So the difference is credit unions are owned by their membership, and banks are owned generally by shareholders, investors.
By corporations.
Like corporations. And so at a bank, they are driven mainly to focus on the enhancement of the value and price of that stock, of their shares.
They have a responsibility to their shareholders.
You'll find that most banks are fee-driven. There's a lot of fees, a lot of charges for little things in most cases. Credit union is very basic. We got free checking. We charge you some interest on some loans. And we're not driven every day to enhance the stock price because we don't have stock. We're driven to provide value and service for our members.
So every member, in a way, is an owner, aren't they?
Every member is an owner. And every member has a say. Every year we have an annual meeting where the membership is invited. We have about 18,000 members. They do not all attend, but some do. And they have opportunity there to get an update about the state of the credit union in terms of our financial condition. They get opportunity to vote on the board of directors. And something you won't find at a bank is the bank customers don't generally go and vote for the board of directors.
No, they don't. They may complain about them, but yeah.
So it's a really different setup. We're really focused on providing service for our members.
Now, how big is Innovations? How many branches do you have?
Innovations has 6 branches, obviously all here in Bay County because we're a Bay County credit union. Our corporate home office, where all of our senior officers are and decision making, is on Thomas Drive, that office has been there for 40 years. They're on Thomas Drive across from Navy Base.
Right.
And then we have a branch, well-hidden branch on 23rd Street, right next to Publix, right across the street from your Fox Studios.
That's right. I can stumble right across the street and do some banking right there.
Tucked in a little side street by Publix for your viewers that may not know where that is. And then we have an office downtown on Jinx Avenue, just north of 6th Street. We have a new office in Callaway across from the Super Walmart.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. A new office in Lynn Haven.
That's where I bank.
Right next to Sonny's Barbecue. So I'm sure
Perfect.
you probably saw a little stop there for some depositing and some lunch.
Little plug for Sonny's there.
Yeah. And then we have an office at the west end of the beach, just west of Highway 79, and a little storefront out there. So 6 branches for coverage in Bay County.
So if you live in Bay County, there's a branch near you.
Very, very likely.
Now, if I live outside of Bay County, can I be a member?
You know, there are some ways to be a member. If you work, for example, in Bay County. So if you lived in Washington County and drove into Bay County for work every day, we can certainly qualify you there. It's easy enough.
Well, how do I find out more about it? What's your website?
innovationsfcu.org. You can find us, or you could call 233-4400.
David Powell, thanks a lot for getting us smart on Innovations Credit Union.
You bet, Don.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I have some people here from the storm shelters of Northwest Florida. Did I say that right?
Yep.
I've got Dick Alt and Kevin Julian. I'm sorry, I almost said Kevin Bacon because everything always goes back to Kevin Bacon. But all kidding aside, storm shelters of Northwest Florida. What does that mean? What is that? What is your company?
We install tornado shelters, safe rooms, gun vaults, just about anything anybody needs in that apparatus of protection.
Why would somebody need a storm shelter, Dick?
Well, those tornadoes are devastating. They can have winds up to 250 mile an hour, anywhere from an E1, E5 down to an E1, and they're like life insurance. You put one in your house or in the ground out in your yard, and you pray to God you never have to use it. But if you do, if a tornado comes, you can put your family in there and be safe.
Yeah, and you know, Kevin, I guess there is a tornado season, isn't there?
Yes, right now we're in our tornado season. It'll run up to hurricane season, then hurricane season runs up till November, and then we have a little bit of a lull, and then we roll right back into it again. So we only have a few months that we're not really susceptible to tornadoes.
And tornadoes, I don't know that they're as predictable as hurricanes are.
You can't evacuate for them like you can a hurricane.
Yeah, but you can get to one of your shelters in a hurry if you had to.
Most of the time, the weather channels and everything, they can give you anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes notice. And sometimes now they're doing as well as they can give you a day or two's notice. You know, during the outbreak of 2012 in Tuscaloosa and everything, they had told them people the day before to be prepared, and they nailed it right on the head. And people didn't take them serious.
I know they had a tornado tear up that high school, and a lot of people got hurt and killed.
Yep.
And are you selling a lot of these shelters in that area now?
We sold a real huge amount after the tornadoes, but it's like anything else. People get complacent, they get comfortable. We've not had a hurricane here for over 10 years, and they forget. And they don't worry about it until it's upon them.
Now, what do these shelters look like, Dick? Are they under the ground? Are they above the ground? What would a tornado shelter typically look like?
We can offer shelters from 3-person right up to however many you need. We do both in-ground and above ground. The in-ground can go up to 20 people, and the above grounds we can make for any size that you want. We do both residential and commercial above ground shelters.
After this break, maybe you can describe some of the shelters that you have available for the general public and people like me who may, be living out there in a country that may need to seek shelter. A lot of people
have never seen anything like this. A lot of people don't even know stuff like this exists.
I didn't until I met you guys. And we'll be right back after these messages. Good morning and welcome back to the show. I'm speaking with the good people of Storm Shelters of Northwest Florida. We've got Kevin and Dick here who have been in this business for how long now?
Since 2006. Since
2006. So what you do is that you actually fabricate, construct, and sell these storm shelters, which can be above ground or underground, to protect people's families from particularly tornadoes. We saw what went on up there in Alabama. Where those kids up in Enterprise were killed, just so tragically. Who buys these things from you? Is it mostly families or businesses? Or?
Both, but residential is the biggest seller. Families protecting their kids, elderly that can't evacuate or can't hurry to get out of places, and people that live in mobile homes and homes that are not secure at all buy them.
Are they very, very expensive? Does it cost a lot of money to own one of these
They
things?
start about $4,000 installed and go up, in a in-ground as much as $9,000.
Okay, so for $4,000 to $9,000, you can get yourself a shelter that could save your family's lives.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Now, what do these things look like? Are they really ugly? I mean, if you got an above-ground thing, is it like an eyesore?
They're finished just like the outside of a boat on the inside. All nice, smooth finishes, seats, carpet, handrails. They're nice.
Can you live in there for a while?
Or
just till the storm passes?
You can till the storm passes. You could get by a couple days if you had to, if you had the right stuff in it.
We actually have people that have flat screen TVs in them.
Beds.
Put plywood down for beds. And I think we do have a few people that live in them some.
Yeah. If the wife throws you out, you always have a place to go, I suppose.
Good doghouse.
Good doghouse.
That's true.
Now, how do people get in touch with you, and how do we learn more about these storm shelters?
We have a website. You can go to stormsheltersofnorthwestflorida.com or stormshelterdepot.com.
Okay, and I'd like to take a look, perhaps, go out and take a look at some of the stuff that you have. I mean, you have above ground.
Safe rooms up to 400 people right now.
Now, what's the difference between a shelter and a safe room?
A tornado shelter is technically called a safe room. It has a 99% protection from a tornado.
Because you see that movie Safe Room, or
but a safe room is also it can be used as a panic room. a storm shelter of all.
Panic room, that's the word.
Multi-purpose room.
Yeah, so it's a multi-purpose room where you can actually be safe
and has been tested twice at Texas Tech for impact testing for tornadoes up to an EF5.
And an EF5 is
250 miles an hour.
Holy mackerel. So it's Storm Shelters of Northwest Florida. Your website again is?
stormsheltersofnorthwestflorida.com or stormsheltersdepot.com.
Okay, and you just go to that website, or we could even call you if we had to, right?
Or Facebook us.
All right, we'll look for you on Facebook. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for what you do, and let me know how you make out with all this. I'm very curious to see how your business goes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You've been watching Waking Up with Don, and I'll see you next time.